Arrested in Belgium, France and Germany, and Belgium has joined France in deploying troops alongside police. Rob Rigby reports.
A show of strength on the streets, Belgian soldiers patrolling key locations as Europe wakes to the latest threat. Here, as in France, the military are lending support. 5 people have been charged with participating in terrorist group activity following a series of anti-terror raids in which 2 suspected Islamist militants were killed. Money, guns, munitions and explosives were seized overnight, along with fake police uniforms, a hint perhaps of what was planned. Europol warns the Islamist threat is evolving as battle-hardened fighters return from Syria, seeking targets closer to home. They say they're dealing with many thousands of potential terrorists.
They're largely unconnected. Many of them maybe don't have a history of coming to authorities' attention. So this is a really difficult threat and a more difficult one to contain than we've seen for many years.
In Washington, David Cameron and US President Barack Obama stood shoulder to shoulder, determined to defeat what the Prime Minister called a poisonous and fanatical ideology. Europe has been convulsed by last week's terror attacks. Jewish leaders cancelled classes and closed schools on Friday in both Antwerp and Brussels after hearing they were potential targets. Here in Britain, the terrorism threat remains at the second highest level, severe. Security has been boosted in Jewish neighbourhoods to reassure a community made nervous by Islamist rhetoric and the kosher supermarket attacks in Paris. In Britain and across the continent, the police remain on high alert. Rob Rigby, BBC News.
Well, in the last hour, the Belgian Defence Minister, Steven Lundgren, has been outlining the measures the government has taken, deploying 2 army companies in support of the police.
It has to be about support of police. It's not getting in place of the police, but the idea of the deployment now is that the static defense will be done, so the police can do police work by driving around and making checks and things like that. The General has spoken about the rules of engagement, which are quite similar to the rules of engagement which are used in normal international operations, and that within the tasks that they have been given, the static defense of persons and buildings, sites, they can use up to the highest degree of force that is necessary.
Well, a short time ago I spoke with Dr. Ahsan Ashraf from the Royal United Services Institute, and he told me that Europol's assessment that the continent faces one of its biggest challenges in years is true for many law enforcement organisations.
Well, that's a statement that reflects, I think, what people believe at the moment. It's hard to say whether, in quantitative terms, it's the most difficult. You know, the terrorist attacks in Paris, which resulted in the death of 12 people, were the worst for about half a century in Paris, in France. However, here, on 7/7, we had 52 people get killed, and we've had several attacks here on the mainland where far more people have been killed by the IRA and the police, these extremists. So I think that's a statement that
given a massive real-time test. They're being installed across the Champs-Élysées, 600 feet from the marathon's finishing line.
It's the biggest installation we've ever done. There's 178 tiles in the ground. I'm excited to see how much energy is going to come out of it. I'm excited to see how much of people are really going to trample over it, and then where the hotspots are going to be, where people